Hi guys, thanks for checking the video out. Steve Buzza here, and today we're talking US Open winner Matt Fitzpatrick. One awesome performance. He's always been renowned for being a hard worker, having great control, but he was a short hitter, and now he's like put on 5 miles per hour onto his club head speed. That's just not significant, that's phenomenal. But as a person that did a biomechanics thesis on driving performance, I thought I would just share a couple of my thoughts and how impressive. That is really, really impressive. What tends to happen, and this trend is changing, but tour players tend to be at their fastest when they get onto the tour, and then as they age, the club head speed actually tends to drop. That used to be the trend. And I think what's happening now is, it's a great example of how coaches, strength and conditioners, and just the protocols that are now available to the modern pro, that trend is starting to change, and that is showing, yes, you have the technology of the driver and the ball, but that's kind of got a limit on it somewhat. You know, 2008 they put in rules about how springy the face could be. There's kind of ways around that. That's the thing with these guys in the R&D department. So these modern drivers are definitely better and more capable of hitting the ball further than, you know, that cutoff in 2008. But that isn't the only way you can get distance now. And if that's all you're relying on is your new driver, you know, especially as a tour pro, you're not going to see a jump like we've seen with Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick, and the reason I think he is a really interesting one, and there's 2 reasons. One, if you think back to when Bryson first did his bulk and really put on that distance, and you know, when he won his US Open, he was kind of starting to break the mold on how you play this game, especially on hard courses like a US Open. Fitzpatrick was one of the guys that came out, and I believe he was at Wentworth when he said this, and he said, I don't see distance as a skill. And it kind of had a little like sour grapes to it, because you're like, well, you can't really, if you're a shortish hitter, you can't go judging the long hitter. Like I said, it looked like it was a bit of jealousy rather than maybe validity in the comment, because the data does show if you hit it further, it really does help your scoring potential. But Matt Fitzpatrick, he wasn't sulking about Bryson hitting it further. He wasn't jealous. He actually went out and did something about it. He found the right people. He's been in the lab, so he's been with Biomechanics. He's been in the lab, and then he has been using the stack system, which is designed by Sasho McKenzie, who I think is one of the best, if not best, biomechanists in golf. I really like Sasho. I think he has a great blend of applied knowledge, and then he does his mathematical modeling. So he is great at taking quite high-end complex ideas and actually pushing it into coaching and pushing it into the performance of the players. Sometimes when you've got the scientist is too far removed from the actual environment where the information can help. So I'm a massive fan of Sasho, and he has the stack system, which he a training aid, and Matt has been using that, and like, what is crazy is the gains he has made. But going back to my research, so I looked at what happens when you try to hit it further versus when you try to hit it shorter, and what I didn't find was when someone tries to hit it further, they necessarily hit it wider. You know, I'm not saying they hit it straighter, but I didn't necessarily find that when you start going further, you will hit it wider. And if you look at the stats that Matt posted at the US Open, he has shown that. He has put on club head speed. If you look at his strokes gained, I think he was gaining, I'll get the stats up here, I think he was gaining something like 5 shots off the tee, which is like insane. But he was achieving that because he was always a straight hitter, and he's hitting it further, but he hasn't compromised hitting it straight. And I think that is very much down to the way he has found his speed. And Bryson, I would say, is the same. Bryson is hitting it further, but Bryson is, he did it in the right way. So in terms of his distance versus offline number, he's still very good. Fitzpatrick, though, incredible. Gaining tons of shots. So strokes gained is pulling apart all of the elements of your game, and it's saying driving alone is saving you 5 shots against the field. If you then look at the driving stats in isolation, he was one of the longest, and he was one of the straightest. I think he was like 5th straightest, 10th longest. If you have that ratio, you are going to be insanely dangerous on the golf course. That is what we saw Sunday at the US Open. The driving isn't just about driving. You know, he hit 17 greens, but the approach play is what's going to have the biggest influence on your scoring. But if you are gaining 5 shots off the tee, you are making those approach shots a lot easier, and incredible performance. And I just think he is a great example of how everybody, if they put their mind to it, if you put the work in, you know, he has worked excessively hard, and he hasn't just pulled it out of his ass. You know, he's got the right team behind him, found the right solutions, and that is now why he's a major. And I would go as far as major. He's not a major, he is a major winner. And I think, and I feel pretty confident in saying this, if he hadn't gone through that, if he didn't have that speed, I don't think he would have won at the weekend. I think that was kind of the missing ingredient. And what's great about it is he didn't compromise anything else. And I think that is the fear people have. If you go back 20 years, 25, 30 years, that was the fear people had about the gym. If you go in the gym, you're going to lose your feel. That's not true. If you try to hit it further, if you do it in the right way, you're not necessarily going to hit it wider, or you're not going to hit it significantly wide or wide enough to lose those gains of the distance. So congrats. Get some comments down below. Have you used the stack? I haven't. I'm actually thinking about using the stack. I have used the super speed sticks, which I've done reviews on. I've used with a lot of my clients. I think they are very effective. But what else have you used? And are you somebody that in maybe the last 12 months to 18 months has seen a significant improvement in their driving distance, and how did you do it? Did you do it with a new driver? Sometimes if your driver is not fit to you, getting a correctly custom fit driver could find you 30 yards. You know, the equipment is important, but there's lots of different elements. What element did you use? Or are you somebody, unfortunately, doesn't hit it very far, would like to hit it far, would like some more videos on how to hit the big dog a little bit further? If that's you, get some comments down below. And as always, stay happy, stay safe. Hope to catch you soon. That was meant to look cooler, by the way. I'm not cool. That was meant to be cool.